Hey there, and welcome to day 9 of Don't Forget Your Worth. I'm Andrea. I welcome you back to the YouTube channel here and also the podcast under the same name, Don't Forget Your Worth. It's become available now on some other platforms other than just Anchor that I started it on. It's my understanding that it's over on Spotify, the iTunes. There's like 4 or 5 of them that it's now up on, and I'll get a list of those and get those read to you tomorrow morning. I'm just running by the hair of my little chinny chin today, but I knew I owed. I am committing to 365 days of miracle stories that you would be inspired and know your worth to the Creator. And so in that, I am sharing stories that I wrote on a blog like a bazillion years ago. That a mentor encouraged me to get up off of the paper and make sense. They've sat in an armoire for, I think, almost 7 years, you guys. I mean, like, knowing, not intentionally even, just there they sat. I had a publisher that had their eye on the content for a while, and I have never even entertained that again. And I think that I hit a space and place where I felt like Father was impressing on my spirit to be very generous. In fact, I love that even at church today, guess what? The whole message was on generosity. And I want to be generous with these stories. I don't want people to have to pay for stories that help them to know their worth and create their identity through Christ, and ultimately, hopefully, bring them closer in relationship with Him. That just seems silly. So I'm offering it here on the YouTube channel as well as a podcast, just so that, you know, people that like to listen to things in the car or what have you, can listen to it there. And it is different. I'm finding that it's not like you just turn on YouTube in the car. It usually is a podcast, and the reference points are unique to that type of medium that you're speaking on. So like when I hold up and show you something, the people on the podcast wouldn't see that, and then vice versa if they're listening, right? So I'm seeing the value in both, and I'm just going to continue right along in a commitment to both, and hopefully we'll get things smoothed out a little bit after a while. But I thank you for hanging in there with me so far. This piece today, I wrote for my baby duck. If you know me, or people who have known me for a super long time, since the beginning of time, I have called my own children my baby ducks. They're just my ducks. I mean, they're just my baby ducks. When I'm talking about all 3 of them, it's the ducks. My folks know this, my family knows this, my friends know this, my people in my front row, if you will, know this about me. So that being because as a single mama, when I walked and trailed my ducks, I had an older son and 2 younger daughters, and they literally they walked from tallest to shortest, if you will. Wait a minute, I have to close this right here. Yeah, I'm still there. Okay. I'm sorry. My battery, that was just an announcement that the battery is less than 10% less left on it. And so it's like, okay, giddy up, Andrea. But in that, I call my kiddos my baby ducks. Obviously, I have a baby duck. It's my littlest. And this story was literally kind of inspired by her. That's why it's named My Baby Duck. And so it begins. My baby duck, walking in front of the grocery cart yesterday, turns and asks it when I least expect it. Mama, was being pregnant with me the toughest pregnancy that you had out of all 3 of us? Her tender 12-year-old going on 30 heart and sassy little glasses wanted to know. It would crush her if she ever thought I went through anything hard, especially cancer, especially being pregnant with her. She would never want her mama to ever hurt, not ever. God be right here in these words matter. I was thinking as I was forming the sentences to say back to this precious little question that she asked. Not tough entirely, baby girl. Worth it. Just requiring the most trust is all. That is when I became closest to Jesus. So true. That is why your middle name is Faith. My middle duck is quick to remind her, well, she did do a somersault for you, because you weren't moving in her stomach, and she worried that you were dead. I giggled and placed the birthday cake fixings in the seat of the cart, where sweet, chubby toddler legs used to sit and dangle right well. So fast, you guys. Yes, I did do that and remembered it completely. Your mama is definitely not a quitter. We stood in line at the pet store, and she asked it, "So, what is your water bottle you're holding for?" The 5-year-old boy, who has been yelled at in the aisle by his mother, whom was then ranting about how terrible he was to the cashier, and how sweet her 8-year-old daughter was, and how he makes her insane, absolutely nuts, just how terrible he is, while he's all smiling and looking at us. She asks it. Her heart can't take it, so she, all brave, initiates conversation with him to stop the mama, but she just can't stop. "It's for my mouse," he says, grinning ear to ear at the intention and love. "I have a mouse, and she loves to drink water. She drinks up all the water, so we needed a bigger one for her." "Oh, that's really neat," my sweet baby duck says. "You are really, really lucky to have your own mouse." He bounces out of the store with the mama just a-yelling, and he looks back all smiles at the heart smiling back at him, heart saying, "We will be praying for you, both of you." My stomach can hardly take it, and I am raising up sweet tummies that can hardly take it. And we throw our bunny food up on the counter, and my baby girl gets out her sweet, sweet wallet, and all I can say is, "No, no, honey. Let me extend kindness for your kind heart. My baby ducks deserve the moon." Their spring break hearts want to stop at the dollar store, and yes, you guys, but we need to be quick. Unbeknownst to me, each baby duck stands in line, one by one, and pays one at a time for only things to donate to their church for Easter. Do you think they will like these, Mama? How could I have even known that the stop wasn't for them? The stop was to be pleasing to God and serve their own church. It's crazy, isn't it? So I stand at the tip of the counter watching each one and how polite and kind they are to the cashier, middle duck saying, "You have a nice day," feeling deeply for those who cannot love. Baby girl, I plain delight in you as you show us all just what faith really is, the assurance of things hoped for and not necessarily seen. She slides down off of my bed that night and bombs out of the room. "Mama, I know that God has it all figured out. My baby ducks deserve the moon." Baby duck, I saw the battle in the womb that was over your life, but I didn't understand until I saw the very way that you love, like Jesus, just a whole awfully lot like Jesus. I feel so blessed to get to see this play out in front of me each and every day, and it just does not stop. The loving, the giving, the serving, the grace, and the perseverance. Baby duck, you are no quitter. There are some serious lives about to be saved because of your life and your legacy, because since teeny, you have known that He is enough. So let's do it, baby duck. Let's, every day, step out in love. Baby ducks, you deserve the moon. I love you. In this piece, I said it even on the podcast, you guys, like, here's what I'd say. You know, when I started this whole giddy up, don't forget your worth. 365 days of miracle stories. I worry that people thought, oh my gosh, it's going to be a miracle story. Like, you know, someone survived a car wreck, or someone escaped cancer, or, you know, all these medical, you know what I mean? Like, and this is not that, because I want you to find actually that you are the miracle in this story. That God purposed and created you, and for you to know your worth is actually going to be the miracle that comes out of this. It really is. This is why these are miracle stories that will point you to living well and loving well and really recognizing your worth and the purpose that you have here, if you will. And there's so many nuggets in there that I know the Lord will work through for each individual that I don't know. Like this one today even shows, it shows the worth of being super kind to an absolute stranger. And the miracle in that is that you can completely shift their perspective and shift their future forward by just a few degrees. And it will mean their destination is completely different because of one sentence or words of life that you chose to say that day. And that's crazy. That is crazy good. And that's part of that miracle, is when she chose to interrupt that mama and instead just be loving to this little boy. He went out of that store a whole new person. I mean, he was just absolutely beside himself. He just thought that was the neatest thing. And so, wouldn't you love to know where he's at now? I mean, he was 5 then. It's like, you think about it, he has to be about 12 now, which is how old my baby duck was. And that's what's fascinating. That's what I want you to see of the miracles that we can create every day. And I just really hope that this continues to do some work, that as we do this daily together, that your whole perspective will spin, and I will, have the joy of just watching transformation happen, and keep this commitment to you guys as a result. I mean, this is going to be fun, and it's going to be something. I'm not kidding. I got more realistic and thought about, okay, girl, you've got the content, but what about when you have company and from out of town? And what about when, what about when you get sick as a dog and you're, in your jammies with a messy bun, I mean, then what, And yet it's like, I know God has everything worked out. I'm sticking to this. This is when I say something, I'll stick to it. So I just thank you for hanging in there with me, and I hope that things really get going. I'm sharing a real spicy one tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to that. I actually printed that off today here at the showroom, and I'll get on to that tomorrow morning. But I wanted just to make sure that I touched in today like I promised, and to let you know that God is here and moving in our lives and in each one of our situations. So just continue to trust and let him do the work. I will see you guys tomorrow.